Syrian officials met with Qatar's prime minister in Doha over the weekend and called on the U.S. to lift sanctions on Syria. That's according to Reuters. The sanctions have been imposed on ousted President Bashar al-Assad's regime. Since Assad fled, a number of facilities have been discovered that may have been involved in developing and using chemical weapons. CNN's Jomana Karache goes inside one of those facilities.
They're gearing up for one of the most dangerous missions in Syria. And they have to be prepared. Exposure could be lethal.
While we are searching for these secret prisons, we received information that there could be hazardous materials in this facility.
The White Helmets volunteer rescue group suspects this is a chemical weapons research site. We joined their hazmat team at a former state security building. They wanted us to witness what they find. Throughout the war, the regime and its Russian backers have repeatedly tried to discredit them. With respirators fixed and suits sealed, the final touch, chemical agent detector patches. With oxygen tanks and detection devices, these two men lead the way into the unknown. They have to move carefully and methodically. Looters got here first. Every surface is scanned for traces of chemicals. A suspected weapons delivery system sits in the middle of this room, but no traces detected so far. Their advanced team already told them it's the upper floors where they need to be. Slowly, they move upstairs. Step by step, on every floor and in every room, they're searching for clues. What was the Assad regime doing here? Evidence of what appears to be a secret chemical lab emerges. In several rooms, they find countless labeled bottles and containers filled with chemicals.
Their main mission today is to document, try and find out as much as they can about the chemicals they're finding in this facility.
Something sets off the detector. They take pictures for experts to review the reading. It says TIC, toxic industrial chemical. He checks his patch and carries on. Until another alarm goes off. They realize it's one of the oxygen tanks. He has to get out fast. It's becoming clear they were experimenting with dangerous substances here. Tucked in the middle of a residential Damascus neighborhood, the local Druze community had long suspected this was more than just a state security building. As regime forces withdrew, people rushed in to see what was really inside this feared compound. It was a local pharmacist who sounded the alarm, and the White Helmets were called in. Securing sites like this one is critical amid a post-regime vacuum and a volatile security situation.
These materials could not only pose risk to the civilians in neighboring areas, but also if they fall into wrong hands, they could be used elsewhere and pose a threat to other communities and maybe other countries.
CNN shared images with 4 experts. Based on that snapshot, they all agree this was a chemical lab. It's unclear whether it was used for chemical weapons research or something else, including analysis of environmental threats or illicit drugs, among other possibilities. Strewn about, they find what they describe as a trove of documents. One we can't independently verify mentions communications between the facility's command and a Russian military officer. Preserving documents like this is now part of the team's mission. They also find weapons storage and production rooms. We see all the necessary components to build modified and improvised explosive devices.
It was shocking how the previous regime used all these government institutions as multi-purpose facilities.
Down this dark and dingy cockroach-infested basement is perhaps the most dangerous discovery so far. Almost every surface and sealed container sets off the detector. It registers lewisite, a blistering chemical agent. Experts say it could be a false positive. Unlike everything here, it will need additional testing. The fall of the regime may be uncovering what until this day had been hidden in the dark, leaving Syria and the world a dictator's toxic legacy. Jumana Karachi, CNN, Damascus.